Hello and welcome back to our continuing adventures on the Let's Defend platform. Today we are tackling a challenge on the platform, Batch Downloader. And I think this is an easy one? Maybe? Possibly? Yes, easy. Analyze the malicious batch downloader. Description. A malicious batch file has been discovered that downloads and executes files associated with the Lapis Clipper malware. Analyze this batch file to understand its behavior and help us investigate its activities. So we are given our typical Windows environment. And I should probably pop that up quick. It is in the standard configuration. We get tools folder and we get the challenge file. I've already done a little bit of pregame, but effectively we have the challenge.7zip. We will right click on that, do 7zip and extract here. It will ask for a password. It is the string infected, all lowercase, no lead speak, just INFECTED. And that will extract out to a 1.zip, which that will extract out to a folder starting in FW, so Foxtrot, Whiskey, Dash, Alpha, Papa, and end in, what does this end in? October Hotel Zulu.pdf. Yes, a folder that ends in .pdf. And inside we end up with a batch file that follows the same type of descriptor. Foxtrot Whiskey Dash Alpha Papa, and then ends in October Hotel Zulu.pdf.bat. I'd really like to know as to what led to this particular aspect. And then tools were given the semi-standard PECMD, strings, timeline explorer, notepad++. Although honestly I expect notepad++ is probably will be doing most of this, if not VirusTotal. So if we open the file up itself, we start with the good old @echo off. That will stop the playing inside the command prompt. We're showing the commands. We're using bitsadmin to go through and download from http://193.169.255.78/fw-ap gkst blah 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 ohc.pdf.zip into the temp directory as the fw-.pdf.zip. Yes, I am truncating a bit. Now we're setting local directory. Apparently we're making a dp0. We're calling to unzip the file, kind of like what we just did for this. Or it's actually trying to pull something else down. We should get an executable file by the looks of it, and we're calling that. And then it looks like it's doing Visual Basic Script to go through and extract the stuff out, which, okay. I wonder if that would actually get you past any sort of additional detections, because you're not relying potentially on like a third party like 7zip, WinRAR, WinZip, or maybe even the built-in decompression if you're able to sit there and actually kick the stuff off. Scripting file system object, FSO, create folder, copy here, files in zip, cscript, no logo, if exists, clean up, and then nothing else. So what I've done is I've generated the hash for the batch file, 32 out of 64 engines actually detect this. So let's see, our big players like Bitdefender, ClipBanker, MAsoft, ESET, Of course, granted, this is a older um, sample by the looks of it. So like, how about our big ones, like our next gen? So we got Kaspersky, we got Microsoft of all things. I don't see what would it show up as, like the typical like AI machine learning ones. So um, BlackBerry Silence, CrowdStrike, Sentinel-1, Cyber Reason. Of course, it's a batch file, so maybe it actually had time of execution. Okay, and then we can follow the chain. If we put the URL for the zip file that was in the batch file into VirusTotal, this is something that's observed. We can go to details. It will get the status 200, so we know that it was successful in pulling it out. We get the body hash. We can run that, so we get the zip that it would have pulled down. Much higher detection than the batch file itself. And if we go and do relations, we can see bundle files. Will give us the executable that would end up being called with the hash that we can break that down inside of here. And it looks like 16 days ago was the last time somebody took a look at this in here with almost a full coverage. So 68 out of 72 AV engines flagged this executable as bad. So what didn't? Acronis, CMC. I don't know what CMC and Tachyon are. I know Acronis. I know Super Anti-Spyware. And the rest look like they're mobile aspects. CrowdStrike and Sentinel-1 didn't do anything with it either. Although that might, well, no, actually that is kind of disappointing. Executable would be something you would think it would flag off of. So we got a good deal of stuff through here. So I, as always, take these, bundle them up, and put them in the video description for when we go through here. So let's take a look now at the questions we need to answer, since we're burning time. What command is used to prevent the command echoing in the console? What tool is used to download a file from a specified URL in the script? What is the priority set for the download operation in the script? What command is used to start localization of environment changes in the script? Which IP address is used by the malicious code? What is the name of the subroutine called to extract the contents of the zip file? Which command attempts to start an executable file extracted from the zip file? And which scripting language is used to extract the contents of the zip file? Okay, so because I'm like old school or just old, take your pick. Batch file scripting is one of the first tastes of programming that I got into. So starting off, it's going to be the @echo off. Mostly, I mean, okay, if you've never tried to analyze a batch file before, notice the only thing in here that has an @ symbol is right there at the very top. So we're going to use the test to take the test, as it were. And yes, 1 day streak, because this is the first video I have actually done in 3 or 4 weeks. I was off in the quote-unquote wilderness for a few weeks, unplugged. Missed the whole kerfuffle with CrowdStrike. Thankfully, it did not interrupt any flights. Okay, so then which tool is used? That's going to be BitsAdmin. Mind you, because BitsAdmin is being called. So it's what, background intelligent transfer system service, something like that. It's one of the things, especially if you're doing living off the land analysis, you would go through and look for anything calling that. Since it is something that is included in all recent version of Windows and allows you to go through and download stuff. Then it wants to know priority, and that priority is foreground. Now, I don't know as to whether or not if that is, so that's going to be like way up front, so we might actually get something if this were to cook off, um, or if it would just be the aspect of, well, I guess we could take a look at that. So what is bitsadmin? And I know I screwed that up. At echo off. These are all things I'll be able to sit there and use moving forward. Bitsadmin priority. So foreground, high, normal, low. So what does foreground actually do? Oh, and Stack Overflow's actually got it, I think. So echo off silently turns off command echoing. And the only output the batch author intended will be written to the actual command prompt that will show up. But Microsoft's got an actual thing for echo, huh? Yeah. Command echoing is on by default. Okay, so then with this, do they tell us what? No, they don't. But because it looks like it's set for highest to lowest, foreground apparently would be like ASAP. And then it would be high, normal, low. Okay. You can see how often I actually use bitsadmin. Maybe if I was more doing more heavily purple stuff, or maybe even red teaming. Anyways, which command is used to start the localization of the environment? Set local. And honestly, that was an entire guess. I don't think I have ever seen the command set local before. So apparently I'm going to have a lot of stuff dumped in here. Set local. Again, learn Microsoft. Starts localization of environmental variables in a batch file. Also, something you would only really come across if you were doing anything in a batch file, or as like what we're trying to do here, deconstruct. Okay, so we have set local. What is the IP address used by the malicious code? Well, there is only one IP address, and that being the 193.169.255.78, and we can kind of sort of spot check this because they give us 3 asterisks period, 3 asterisks period, 3 asterisks period, 2 asterisks. So should be 3 digits, 3 digits, 3 digits, 2, which exactly matches in here. Watch, I'll get this wrong. Oh, okay. What is the name of the subroutine used to extract? That is going to be unzip file. And you'd be like, okay, where'd you pull that one from? Well, because we're calling. And inside of programming languages, you'll call subroutines or functions. I'll add it to the fact that notice this is another thing. I mean, if you've never done programming before, anything else like that, you see we've got the colon unzip file, and then we actually get a full-blown definition of what that is, kind of hinting that, okay, everything in this is this unzip file. What command attempts to start the executable? That is going to be the start. I mean, it kind of spells it out right there. That is exactly as to what it denotes, but So yeah, I'll have plenty of stuff to actually dump into the video description as I break this stuff down. Um, so if you're struggling through this, then I would suggest that hopefully read the video description and explore the links that are there before, having me go through and break this stuff down. But start is literally what it sounds like. Start a program, command, or batch script. Opens in a new or separate command prompt window. So that should be just this entire aspect here. The start, space, double quote, space, double quote, FW dash, all the way to the .pdf.exe, double quote. And we'll make sure that it fits in, yes, that fits inside the answer key that they give us. And that's correct. And I realize, yes, that the window is up in front, but we've got one last one. And for this one, I think it's Visual Basic. No. I mean, it's VBS. But again, since we're trying to take a test, VBS is a lot that's dumped inside there. Vacation Bible School? No. We might need to give it a little bit more than just that. Although something tells me VBS programs, yeah, okay, it's gonna try to do it like that. So let's try VBS scripting. So how about the word VB script? So I was thinking of actually trying to spell out. So what about VB script as opposed to everything else? It looks like it would match up in terms of size-wise. Yes. Okay. Hooray. And again, so where we get this from is all of the mentions of VBS. Hopefully you know that, okay, files that you'd have to be worried about not only are .dlls and .exes on Windows machines, you also have various scripting ones. So like in this case, we're dealing with a BAT file, BAT. There's also CMD. There is SCR. You've got, so other scripting ones would be like .js that could run on local. .bbs is another one. Okay, so let's get this out of here and then we'll break down there. So of course we get the hooray. Go ahead and show me in a different window. I'll just knock this out. All right, so we're getting a front row so we can verify. So again, add echo off as the answer to the first one. I know some of these shown through with the RDP window open over here, and then bits admin for the second one, foreground, again because it mentioned actually the priority in the command line. So if you read that right and looked into it, start localization. As I wonder if you could just actually take this question, dump it into Google, and get an answer too. But there was only one IP address in the code, so as long as you can recognize IPv4 addresses. IPv6 gets a little bit wonky. And then being able to pick out subroutines that might be included. Subroutines functions inside the badge file. In this case, the :unzip file is the standout, considering the fact that I think the only other thing that had colon in there was the http : / for the URL that is specified. Then we'll have the full command for start. And then, of course, the scripting language, which I was trying to answer Visual Studio, or no, Visual Basic, where apparently the shortened answer that they are actually looking for is VB script. And we were able to fully confirm that. I mean, besides submitting the answer and getting it right by just doing a Google search for VBS scripting, which confirmed. So I will include the typical aspects if you want to learn more in regards to. Should probably put these in order. So learn more about Echo. And batch files are still something you can actually go through and use on current versions of Windows. So if you need to set parameters of various things, or so you've got like I don't know, a list of tasks or programs that have to run in a particular order, um, something that you could take a look at. And then of course the whole thing would be I will include the virus total chain of detections and URLs. So going from the bat file to the address in question to the zip file that would be downloaded and then to the executable that would be extracted out there, which is what we're looking at here. So all in all, a nice refresher course in Windows batch files, but nothing that is too strenuous. Hopefully you find it to be the same. If not, please try to sit there and, save a copy of the batch file itself and try to go through and widen your understanding by doing the research. Or ask for help. I mean, we've all got to have each other's backs here, right? So that's 16 days ago. Are we going to have a dang near perfect, like 71 out of 73? If we ask this to get updated. I mean, it is 16-day difference. I mean, I would hope it would be better. 70 out of 74? I still feel that there was 74 detections before. Okay, CrowdStrike's jumped in. Cyber Reason. So I think they were knocked out before. And that's probably why. We still have the same Acronis, Super, CMC, and Tachyon not detecting. So that's why the number's gone up. Because I think down at the very bottom, CrowdStrike and Cyber Reason hadn't taken a look at it. Or was it Sentinel-1? Might have been Sentinel-1. I don't know. But okay, so it's got the stuff now. And it looks like this goes to what? Ransomware, supposedly? CryptoLocker 2015? Wait, how exactly old is this? Creation time 2012? First submission to virus total was late 2022. I guess I'm not that familiar with this Clipper malware. Probably never ran into a case of it. So it's nice to actually go through and kind of play with a particular aspect of it. For those concerned, the URL was down when I tried to poke at it. The http://193.169.255.78. So you'd probably have to go and start hunting, utilizing the hashes on things like Malware and Bazaar if you want to actually try to put together the whole chain. You might have to kind of help it along a little bit. Like knock out the bits transfer. Because I doubt it's going to work, but well, actually no. You know what? We've got the system. I think it has internet. Maybe. Let's see. No, doesn't look like it does. Okay. So I mean, you could give it a shot in your own sandbox. With with an internet connection and see as to whether or not if everything gets hosed after that. But from just the quick poking and prodding, it was down when I tried to sit there and pull it, which also prompts the question. I realize I'm not sharing the screen because I don't want to. I'm taking a look at the AV on this recording system. No detections, no anything else like that. So it didn't interrupt and it did not flag anything. So I'm assuming it's not for once responsible in interrupting the connection. But there we go. So that has been the Let's Defend Batch Downloader Challenge. Hopefully a nice little thing. Or hopefully you find it as a nice little thing, especially if you've never played with batch files before. I don't think it's used as heavily now. I think the biggest thing is, trying to put like JS or VBS files inside of zip folders and pop the stuff through. But wouldn't surprise me as to whether or not if there's still some threat actor somewhere or some script kiddie just putting the stuff in batch files and trying to send it out after compressing it, trying to trick people to go through and run it. But so there we go. Actually, since I got one wrong, I doubt I'll be added to the scoreboard, even though I only had to ask for one hint. Yep. Scoreboard is fully filled up. And that's okay, because I don't do it for the scoreboard. It's just one of those things. Okay. With all that being said, since it's the first video of me actually recording, since since I filled up my hopper and let everything go through and get posted, if you were affected by the CrowdStrike stuff in July, I hope that your place of employ has bought you a bottle of whiskey or taken you and your appropriate team out for drinks on the company card for a heroic effort of restoring services. And if they didn't do that, then you have my sympathies, and hopefully that means you get a raise or something coming up for your Herculean effort. But with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.